July 18, 1944. South of St. Lo, Normandy. 5:40 hours. A low mist hangs over the hedgerows. The earth is damp from night rain, churned into thick mud by weeks of artillery. The smell of diesel fumes mixes with crushed grass and cordite. Inside a German Panther's turret, Oberfeldwebel Karl Brenner wipes condensation from his binocular lenses. His tank, Panzer V Panther, 2nd Company, 3rd Panzer Division, rests hull down behind a stone wall half swallowed by brush. The long 75mm kilowatt K-42 gun points down a narrow lane framed by thick Norman bocage. He hears them before he sees them. A distant metallic grinding. Tracks. Many tracks. Brenner smirks faintly. Shermans, he mutters. His gunner, Gefreiter Emil Voss, leans into the TZF-12A sight. Range. 800 meters. They'll show themselves in the gap. Through the hedge break, the first American M4 Sherman rolls into view. Olive drab. White star on its hull. Commander standing half exposed in the cupola scanning the tree line. Behind it, another. And another. A column. Amerikanisch Ronsons. Voss says quietly, invoking the nickname whispered across the eastern and western front alike. Ronson, like the cigarette lighter, lights every time. Brenner nods once. He has seen Shermans burn. He has watched ammunition cook off, turrets blown skyward in orange blossoms of flame. Against a Panther's high-velocity gun or a Tiger's 88mm, the Sherman's armor often feels tragically thin. Hold, Brenner orders. The lead Sherman pauses, turret traversing uncertainly. Fire. The Panther's gun recoils violently. The shell streaks across the field and strikes the Sherman's glacis. A flash, metal tearing, then black smoke erupts from the American tank's hull. The turret hatch bursts open. A crewman scrambles out, uniform aflame. Hit, Voss confirms flatly. The second Sherman attempts to pivot, but the Panther reloads in seconds. Another shot, another impact, another fire. Within minutes, 2 American tanks burn in the lane, thick columns of smoke curling into the gray dawn. Across the line, German crews exchange brief satisfaction over radio chatter. 2 Ronsons lit. Americans never learn. In the early years of the war, such encounters reinforced German confidence. In North Africa, Tigers had torn through Allied armor at impossible ranges. In Russia, T-34s fell by the dozens to concentrated anti-tank fire. German optics were superior. Their guns longer, their armor thicker, quality over quantity. Brenner adjusts his headset. More movement, his loader whispers. Through the smoke, more Shermans emerge. Not 2, not 5, a dozen. They fan outward, spreading across fields, engines roaring, machine guns probing the hedgerows. Behind them, artillery begins to fall. American 105mm shells crashing into suspected German positions with mechanical regularity. The Panther shudders as earth explodes nearby. They keep coming, Voss mutters. Brenner narrows his eyes. He knows, intellectually, that America builds many tanks. But what he sees now feels different. The column does not hesitate at the burning wrecks. It flows around them. Another Sherman advances directly into the line of fire, using the smoke as concealment. Its gun flashes. A shell slams into the Panther's mantlet, cracking against hardened steel. The interior rings like a struck bell. Voss winces. Range closing, the loader shouts. Another American tank appears on the flank, then another. They are not maneuvering cautiously. They are pushing forward, accepting losses, pressing the hedgerow from multiple angles. Brenner fires again. A third Sherman erupts in flame. But for every one destroyed, 2 more crest the ridge. Overhead, the sky begins to vibrate. A distant drone builds into a thunderous roar. Allied fighter bombers sweep low across the countryside. P-47 Thunderbolts, silver shapes slicing through morning cloud. Rockets streak downward, detonating along suspected German strongpoints. The Panther's radio crackles frantically. American armor breakthrough. Multiple sectors request immediate support. Brenner feels something unfamiliar tighten in his chest. This is not a probing attack. This is weight. Relentless, industrial weight. In Berlin, factories hum day and night. In Detroit, assembly lines stretch for miles. The Americans produce Shermans in numbers the German high command struggles even to comprehend. Where Germany perfects, America multiplies. Another Sherman appears through the smoke, its commander exposed, shouting directions to infantry advancing behind the tanks. Brenner lines up the shot, but before he fires, a shell from an unseen American tank slams into the Panther's lower hull. The impact rocks the vehicle violently. Warning lights flicker. The driver curses. Transmission damaged. Smoke begins seeping into the turret. Outside, the American column does not slow. They surge. For every Sherman that burns in the hedgerow, 5 more grind forward. Brenner suddenly understands. The nickname Ronson had been easy, almost comforting. A way to mock what burns so readily. But mockery does not stop an avalanche. And this feels like an avalanche. The Panther lurches backward, gears grinding. Reverse! Reverse! Brenner shouts. The driver slams the controls, but the damaged transmission whines in protest. Smoke thickens inside the turret, burning oil stinging their eyes. Outside, the hedgerow explodes. A 75mm shell from an advancing Sherman tears into the stone wall shielding the Panther's flank. Chunks of masonry crash against the hull. Brenner fires once more. Another Sherman disabled. But he no longer counts victories. There are too many. Across Normandy, this scene repeats itself. July 25, 1944. 9:38 hours. Operation Cobra. Above the German line south of St. Lo, the sky fractures into thunder. Waves of American heavy bombers, B-17 Flying Fortresses and B-24 Liberators, stretch across the horizon in metallic formations. Their bomb bays open in synchronized precision. Then the earth erupts. Carpet bombing tears through German defensive belts, pulverizing artillery, communication nodes, and armor assembly points. Panthers and Tigers, machines of precision engineering, are flipped like toys beneath the concussive force. On the ground, stunned German survivors stagger through dust clouds so thick the sun disappears. And through that dust, engines approach. Shermans, hundreds of them. Captain Robert Hayes, 2nd Armored Division, stands half-exposed in his M4 Sherman's turret, goggles streaked with grime. His voice crackles over the radio. "Keep moving. Don't bunch up. Infantry on our flanks." His Sherman is not invincible. He knows that. He has seen them burn too. He has lost friends to long-range Panther fire that punches clean through armor like paper. But Hayes also knows something Brenner is only beginning to grasp. There will be more. If his tank is knocked out, another crew will mount another Sherman within days. Replacement vehicles arrive in crates and convoys. Spare parts come in bulk. Fuel flows in rivers from captured ports and artificial harbors. American logistics hum with mechanical indifference. To the German tanker, each Panther is precious. Its optics calibrated. Its transmission fragile and overstrained. Spare parts scarce. Fuel rationed. To the American system, the Sherman is abundant. Back near St. Lo, Brenner's Panther finally loses power. The engine sputters into silence. "Out," he orders. The crew scrambles through hatches as artillery begins walking across their position. Behind the curtain of smoke, Sherman's silhouettes multiply. Infantry in olive drab advance behind them, rifles ready. A Panther, abandoned and immobile, is a coffin. Brenner drops into a shallow ditch as machine gun fire stitches the hedgerow. He looks back once. The American tanks roll past his crippled machine without ceremony. They do not stop to celebrate destroyed Panthers. They do not pause at burning Shermans. They push west. Across France, German reports begin to shift in tone. No longer are Shermans merely Ronsons. They are described in after-action reports as numerically overwhelming. Units request reinforcements that cannot arrive. Replacement Panthers are delayed. Fuel shortages worsen as Allied aircraft dominate roads by day. In Corinne, Tigers of Schwer SS Panzerabteilung 101 score lethal kills at range. But they are too few. In Falaise Pocket, a single Tiger can halt a column briefly. But even spectacular tactical victories cannot stem the operational tide. Because for every Tiger built, America builds dozens of Shermans, and they arrive faster than Germany can destroy them. Hayes' column pushes through shattered German lines. A knocked-out Sherman smolders beside the road, its turret blackened. Hayes does not look at it for long. He keys his radio. Advance to phase line Bravo. Keep pressure. Don't give them time. Pressure. That is the weapon. Not thicker armor. Not a longer gun. Pressure. By August 1944, the German 7th Army begins collapsing toward the Falaise Pocket. Encirclement looms. Fuel trucks are abandoned. Panthers run dry. Crews blow up their own tanks rather than let them fall intact. Brenner, now riding in the back of a half-track with other displaced tankers, watches columns of Shermans roll along French roads with unnerving regularity. They are not elite machines of myth. They are steady, reliable, replaceable, and there are so many. The mockery fades. In its place grows a grim arithmetic. If one Panther can kill 5 Shermans, what happens when 50 Shermans arrive? August 14, 1944. Near Falaise, France. 16:20 hours. The air is thick with smoke and the six-week stench of burning fuel. The roads east of Argentan are clogged with wreckage, trucks overturned, horse-drawn wagons abandoned, artillery pieces twisted and silent. Columns of German infantry trudge through fields, glancing skyward at the constant threat of Allied aircraft. Somewhere along a tree-lined ridge, Oberfeldwebel Karl Brenner kneels beside a camouflage Panther recently reassigned to a scratch campground. Its armor bears fresh weld seams from hurried factory repairs. The engine coughs unevenly. Fuel is scarce. Ammunition scarcer. He scans the horizon through field glasses. In the distance, along a sunken road, he sees them again. Shermans, not advancing recklessly this time, but methodically, in coordinated groups. Some are standard M4s with 75mm guns. Others carry the longest 76mm barrel, their profiles slightly altered. Tank destroyers move alongside them. Self-propelled artillery trails in support. The Americans have adapted. Captain Robert Hayes, now moving eastward with elements of the 2nd Armored Division, stands atop his Sherman as his column skirts burning German transport vehicles. His crew is exhausted, faces hollowed by weeks of continuous advance, but their machines keep moving. Fuel bowsers meet them at crossroads. Recovery vehicles haul away disabled tanks for repair. Replacement Shermans arrive on transporters. Behind Hayes is a nation operating at full industrial momentum. Behind Brenner is a nation tightening into a vice. German Panthers take position along a hedgerow overlooking a narrow valley, one of the last corridors through which retreating units attempt escape from what is becoming the Falaise Pocket. Wait for close range, Brenner instructs his gunner. The first Sherman appears at the valley's mouth. Fire. The Panther's shell strikes true. The American tank halts abruptly, smoke venting from its hull. Infantry scatter for cover. A second Sherman maneuvers, trying to flank. Another Panther fires. Another Sherman burns. Brief satisfaction ripples through German radios. But the valley does not empty. More Shermans roll forward. Then more. They fan out, some advancing under covering fire while others lay down suppressive bursts from hull-mounted machine guns. Artillery whistles overhead. American observers perched in light aircraft adjusting fire with deadly precision. Brenner feels the tremor in the earth before he sees it. Beyond the first wave of Shermans, more armor crests the ridge behind them. Endless silhouettes against the smoke-hazed sky. The Germans fire again and again. Shell casings pile inside cramped turrets. But barrels overheat. Ammunition dwindles. One Panther to Brenner's left erupts in flame, hit not by a Sherman, but by a fighter bomber's rocket diving out of the sun. The crew barely escapes before secondary explosions rip through the hull. The American advance does not pause. Hayes watches a Sherman ahead of him take a direct hit from a Panther concealed in the hedgerow. The tank bursts into flame. He feels the impact emotionally, but operationally, he keeps moving. Mark that hedgerow. Smoke it. Flank right. 2 Shermans break off, circling wide while artillery saturates the suspected Panther position. Within minutes, American 76mm guns fire from an angle the German armor cannot cover. A Panther's turret jerks violently, struck from the side. Flames spill from its engine deck. Brenner watches the machine burn, his stomach tightening. The Panthers fight magnificently, but magnificence does not refill fuel tanks. It does not replace lost crews. It does not match production measured in thousands per month. By nightfall, the Falaise corridor narrows further. Wrecked German vehicles litter the roads in endless lines, what Allied pilots will later call the Death Highway. Shermans roll past shattered Tigers, disabled Panthers, and burnt-out half-tracks. Quantity is no longer merely reinforcement. It is suffocation. Brenner retreats on foot once more, his second Panther abandoned for lack of fuel. Around him, the remnants of proud Panzer divisions dissolve into fragmented groups trying to escape encirclement. Behind him, American armor continues forward, steady, relentless. The Ronson joke no longer circulates over German radios. Now, there's only calculation. For every Sherman destroyed, there are 10 more somewhere on the road.